Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Deep Look into the Paranormal Podcast, where mystery meets insight. Today, we are going to be having a bit of a touchy subject in regards to discussion, because we're going to talk about Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Yeah, we went from nice and lighthearted. Oh, wait, what was last week? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
the Akirihara.
Okigahara.
I went for it. I tried. I failed.
Yes, yes, you did. All right. On that note, we will. It is actually located. We'll get down to business here now. Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. See, we can have fun too. Dang it, I'm squirreling. Um, West is in located in Weston, West Virginia. That's Weston, Weston. The architect, the one who helped design it and craft it, is known as Richard Snowden Andrews. And it was, let's see here, Dr. Thomas Kirkbride and Mr. Andrews that formulated the building construction of the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Okay, say that name one more time.
Which one? Kirkbride?
Okay, is that one word or two?
One word. Kirkbride. It's like Kirk,
Okay,
like Captain Kirk.
we have a friend named Kirk. That's why I was like, is it two? Is it Kirk Bride or okay?
No,
Thank you. I'm sorry. I was just
that's okay.
making sure.
Construction began in 1858 and lasted all the way through 1881, though it actually opened up for the very first patients in 1864. But that's jumping ahead a little bit, so we're going to take it back, okay? Um, at least a little bit. Um, the authorizing entity that allowed the hospital to be built was Virginia General Assembly that authorized it in the early 1850s. Um, Dr. Thomas Kirkbride was the superintendent of the Pennsylvania Hospital for the Insane. Okay.
Okay.
He is the first psychologist to classify insanity into medical illness. So that's something.
The very first.
According to all the reports I found, and I've went through, let's see, 7 different websites and researches.
Okay.
Yeah, it may have been considered such, but he's the first notated one, if that makes sense. Dr. Thomas Kirkbride worked with the architect on the Kirk is it Kirk Blade? I can't read my own damn handwriting. Go figure. Um, to incorporate fresh air, lighting, which is like natural sunlight, and nature. They devised a style ultimately using a Goth Tudor revival architecture. The doors were set up so that when they were opened, sunlight flooded in naturally.
Okay.
Here's an aerial shot of the front of Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Okay. That's a. I have to say, I do love the fact that we have drone technology.
Yes,
Get pictures like this.
I don't. No, I need to be professional. I'll
Don't
tell
look
you
at me
later.
this one. I didn't get it. You can tell me later.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Uh, let's see here. But as you can see, that's a lot of lights, a lot of windows. It's all on the other side as well. All of this back here is also part of Trans-Allegheny.
Mm-hmm.
Just not of course, the houses.
if I'm remembering correctly, it doesn't have like 14 buildings on site.
Yes, I think one's like partially demolished though, which was part of the forensics building, which is this over here is part of the forensics building right here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's quite a few buildings on site. They the people who helped build this used a lot of hand cut stone, like blue sandstone, and they got it from the quarries located nearby. They use a lot of prison labor because when you're in prison, you're going to be doing hard time, and that was considered hard time, doing, physical labor. And
Okay.
yeah, when it came to actually doing the carving, the different, you know, angles and basic stone cutting, they hired in a lot of German and Irish stonemasons to do that. So
Good to know.
you got your free work from the prisoners, and then you had to pay for the stonework. Um, Here is something interesting. This building, the main building, that big, huge, long building you see right in front of you,
Hmm.
was considered the largest hand cut stone building for a time in the entire world, except for one other location that topped it.
What's the other location?
It's a fortified complex in Moscow called the Kremlin.
Mm.
Not,
Its only competitor is the Kremlin.
yes. At the time this was done.
Oh, I'm guessing it's changed now.
Probably has, or might not. Um, it took a full 23 years to complete. It was also known as a West Virginia Hospital for the Insane or Weston State Hospital. And of course, during its time, it unfortunately did use segregation measures, which means, depending on your ethnicity, you got separated by that, which was high. I'm highly against that because we're all human, we're one race, but that's the argument for a different time. Um, the hospital was intended to be a self sufficient farming, dairy, waterworks, and personal cemetery. It had plenty of open areas for patients to socialize, and unlike other hospitals at the time, it offered dignity and privacy to its patients until later on. No drum, no dun dun dun.
Yeah, this I know a lot about Trans-Allegheny already. I'm not going to be quipping jokes too much about this place.
Yeah, I wouldn't, but I was expecting you to. um, Between 1861 and 1863, um, it was actually. Everyone knows that West Virginia had succeeded from the U.S. and funding, of course, wanted to be taken back to the Union. And unfortunately, the hospital basically building procedure or process was put on hold, and it became the barracks for the Union Army, and it was called Camp Tyler there for a while until
Okay.
yeah until it until the Confederacy started raiding it, and the Confederacy actually took all the provisions meant for the patients. That's sad. I understand they may have needed it, but the patients needed that stuff too,
Yeah, it's war, and
which is unfortunate. But yes, Camp Tyler became West Virginia Hospital for the Insane around the earlier part or later part of 1863 to early part of 1864, and by October received its first patient, which was believed to be a wife with domestic troubles. So
I guess that means her husband was a piece of shit.
you could say that, definitely. Didn't like that his wife had an opinion. Believed that she should
Yeah,
remain
that's
silent and barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. But she was admitted for extreme grief, which means depression, brain congestion, feebleness of intellect, meaning she was too smart for her own good, seduction, and being able to read. So, because she had an education, she was a threat to his, I guess, standing, and he didn't like that.
being able to read as a mental disability.
Yes, back then, men did not like women being smart because then they formulated opinions and would talk back when they said
Okay.
that's not right.
Yeah, the past is the worst.
Yes, it's very much is so. Um,
Anyone who like longs for yesteryear, you don't really.
mm-mm.
It was not a good time.
No, and they're trying to force it back. No, another argument for another time. Um, let's see here. Others were admitted for mental illnesses, asthma, laziness, egotism, domestic trouble, and greed. Later patients,
Wait. We can institutionalize people for greed.
back then, yes. But I think
Wait,
that was a way to get your rivals, if they were inferior to you at the time, to get them locked up so you can get their stuff.
I was gonna say I know a District of Columbia that definitely has
David,
a lot of.
David, no, not going there. We're rising above. Um, later, patients were admitted for epilepsy, alcoholism, drug addicts, non-educational mental defects, defectiveness, meaning people who had issues learning, which is a current problem even today. And I'm like, they shouldn't have been treated like that. They should have, you know, given the extra help, but people didn't believe that was necessary at the time, which is unfortunate. Uh,
There's still very little known about the human brain that we've had. There's the famous quote, "We only use 10% of the brain."
mm-hmm.
That's not true. The quote was actually, "We only know what 10% of the brain does."
Yeah.
And it's still one of those modern mysteries. Even to this day and age, we're still doing extensive studies into the brain and how it functions, what causes it to do certain things.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm preaching to the choir on that one. I'll just I'll stop interrupting.
No, I agree. It was a good reflect on it. Um, Patients, however, that were admitted were often discouraged from seeing people they know or receiving mail. More than likely, just so that they can focus on. I'm assuming that this is so they can focus on healing and getting better. That maybe family or mail might just trigger them or make them reflect back on what's causing the issues.
Try and prevent a relapse until they're able to handle themselves under
Yeah,
stress. I can understand that. It's just also it's an isolation technique used by people to help brainwash others.
I agree. Um, this facility was originally meant to house 250 patients. By 1881, it had over 700 patients.
Okay, I was expecting higher.
It's getting there.
Yeah,
By 1938, the facility had over 1,600 patients. That's over double.
I was gonna say I was trying to do the math real quick. Yeah, that's a lot of overcramped rooms.
1949, the facility had over 1,800. And by the 1950s, it had well over 2,400 patients.
Had they didn't done any expansions during those time periods?
Just the buildings you see.
Well, you
And
said what was it 250 was the original number it was built for?
yes, no,
That's what I'm saying. If they added extra buildings by the time they're at like 1700.
not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough at all. And not just that, they didn't have enough furniture, enough provisions, enough staff to even properly facilitate the care that they needed. And that's bad. Patients often left in poor conditions, chained to walls with no clothes, some in cages, led to a lot of patient deaths due to neglect.
Yeah.
The exact number of how many actually died at this facility is actually unknown, but there is a team of individuals who are actively looking into it and actually doing present day research into it to find that number out. But they do believe currently that is at least in the 5-digit numbered numbers, which means thousands, if not more.
That's tens of thousands, possibly.
Yeah. Um,
Yikes.
and it's sad that what gets me is they saw it coming within that when it first started getting overcrowded. They should have focused on getting what they could. I mean, at that time, I understand there were limitations, but they should have at least attempted to, you know. But we'll go over that in a moment. What they devised to hide the ugliness. West Virginia State Hospital for the Insane became home to the West Virginia Lobotomy Project.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
This is the ice pick era for lobotomies, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. The use of methods were to experiment treatments for mental illness, air quotes, which often resulted in death and thereby lowered the numbers within the facility.
Not enough beds, just kill more patients.
And the thing is, because that happened, they didn't look into it. They they basically swept it under the rug. Oh, it was a treatment that failed. A lot of people suffered because of that. A lot. Not they
Yeah.
didn't do just lobotomies. They did other experimentations like ice baths, and various other extremes. Um,
What era are we at so far?
we're in the 1940s right now.
40s.
1949.
Okay. When did
Um,
electroshock become the norm?
that was some of the unfortunate extra, more painful experimentations that were done. They even had a chair that would hold them in the upright position, even their head, just to lower the blood flow to the brain. They thought that would stabilize a patient. Bring the um, get them to relax. They called it the tranquilizing chair.
Put me down for non-tranquilization, please.
Yeah, well, you'll get to see that too. Um, the Charleston Gazette in 1949 exposed the crude conditions and the fact that they were using administrative funds to rebuild and restore parts of the wing that a patient had started a fire in back in 1935. So they were slowly still continuing to build it. It just they weren't doing it fast enough, nor did they seem to really care to push it. But back then, it's like you put someone in there and they can be either diseased or have an actual mental condition or something, and it's like they were left there and forgotten a lot of times, kind of like Waverly Hills, how people were just kind of shunted there and left. There are people who did care about some of the patients, and even some of the sorry, even some of the faculty did care for the patients, but then you had a lot that didn't, or just wanted to get rid of the burden.
There's more likely a fair number where this was a job
They were just
and
They were just going
or
through the
this was
motion.
or they were not good enough for their job other places and ended up here.
Yeah. This facility was closed by court order in May of 1994, in part due to a lawsuit filed by patients' families. So some of them found out what was going on and finally did something. But look how many years had passed before something was finally done.
Yeah, 94 sounds like a long time ago for a lot of people.
But considering this
Uh,
started back in 1850,
yeah, that is
just the amount of
140
atrocity.
years of
136.
136. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, my quick math wasn't too far off.
No. I did the math because I wanted to seem. Well, anyways.
Oh, you pre-did the math. I see
Mm-hmm.
how this is. I
Uh,
appreciate you doing that effort.
Thank you. The remaining patients that were still there were transferred to William R. Sharp Jr. Hospital for the insane. It was left abandoned for several years until 1999, when several off-duty county and state officers used the four floors as a paintball arena, causing significant damage. 3 were let go immediately after the incident.
Okay, I knew that it had been used for paintball. I didn't realize they had done it illegally by trespassing.
Yes, they did.
Okay, I did not know that part.
Yes.
I mean, anytime you look at like old abandoned buildings, the old concrete or stonework ones, you kind of think that'd be great for paintball, anyways.
I would think more great for paranormal investigating, but that's me. Um, it does have a National Record of Historical Places number, or what people refer to as an NRHP number. It is 78002-805.
And so that means it has to, if you're going to do any renovations, it has to be very specific and it
And
has to be historic in nature, I believe.
as correctly to the original as possible, but you also need to get the approval first.
Which I understand it's there to keep it from being destroyed,
Mm-hmm.
but it also creates a lot more bureaucracy for those people trying to keep it alive.
Yes. And the current owner definitely knows that red tape well. Its current owner is Joe Jordan. He actually was he helped take care of asbestos, like a get rid of it type.
Okay, so there's a cleaner.
But he bought the building at auction for 1.5 million.
Oh, I seriously thought this was going to be those stories where he bought it for $1. He just had to pay the back taxes.
No. Um, the building has anywhere between, it said 130 years to 136 years of history. But honestly, it depends on when you start looking at its starting date. If you look at its starting date from when it took its first patient, then it's 130 years. However, if you go back to when it was first started being constructed, it's 136.
Okay.
Like I said, it all depends on how you take into account what was being built to when it originally opened. With that in mind, Joe uses the income that he gets from the museum for the facility, paranormal investigations, any events hosted there. He uses those funds not for himself, but to put directly right back in to start cleaning it up, to start, fixing it up, and of course going through those red tapes of bureaucracy that he needs to, get it not only up to code, but also trying to preserve the history.
Okay. I've got a couple questions. I don't know
I might be able
if
to
now's
answer
the right
them.
time for them.
What is that?
Trans-Allegheny has been on television with a number of different places
Yes, we're
doing
about to go over
investigations
that.
there. Okay. I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna say, do you know what year the first investigation was reported there?
No. I did, but I've honestly forgotten. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's one of those like weird trivia questions that I'm kind of curious, or who was the
Well,
first
while we're talking, why don't you look at it?
televised? Yeah,
Why don't you look it up? But
I
any,
shall do that.
all right. Joe uses the incoming funds to basically, like I said before, to for restorations. He has the ground floor set up as a museum. Has guided tours and paranormal investigations. What a lot of people don't know is there was an attempt previous to Joe that had toys. It had a museum for toys, a Savor museum, and a hospital for the mentally insane museum set up in it. But they shut all three of them down at the same time due to a number of fire hazards and violations. But here is where it talks about the different. I've only hand picked a few of the places or organizations that have televised there, like their different investigations and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
It was featured on Ghost Stories, Ghost Adventures,
Mm-hmm.
Paranormal Lockdown, Sci-Fi's Ghost Hunters, just to name a few.
Apparently, Ghost Adventurers were the first ones to televise Trans-Allegheny, which
Sweet.
happened on October 30th, 2009.
Appropriate. Um, did you know that this facility was featured in a video game as well?
Isn't it the inspiration for Dead by Daylight's Mad Doctor level?
Nope. No, sir.
Oh. Uh, which one was it? Because this isn't
It,
Death
it
Shoot. This isn't the one with the Death Shoot. So.
no, it's not. It was featured. I'll give you one hint first, starting out. It was featured in a 2018 video game.
Is it Call of Duty?
No.
I'm lost. I don't know.
Okay. It was actually in Fallout 76 as their Fort Defiance building.
I would not have guessed that. I am not a Fallout player.
Yep, it was. Um, it's definitely known for its various hauntings. There's like shadow figures that are seen to possibly represent former soldiers, patients, and staff. Disembodied voices and objects being moved. So they've got a little slight bit of poltergeist activity, which is actually hard to prove, but it is
Unless you
there.
catch it on camera. Yeah.
Yes. Um, Specific ghosts, Lily, a girl that lived there her entire life and played likes she even in her afterlife she likes to play games, roll balls, and giggles a lot. She is a sweet ghost. She is actually a friendly ghost there. However, little kid ghost laughing. I'm sorry. Even when I play Phasmo, it can be a bit
Yeah, little
unnerving.
kid laughs are the creepiest.
Because why? Why?
Because,
Do you remember why?
oh no, I don't. It was right there. Now
Okay.
it's gone.
The reason being is because it is said and believed that to fool the living, demons or demonic, anything inhuman in nature, use the embodiment of a child to lure you in, to trick you. So it's like, is it a child or could it be something else pretending?
No, I think there's a psychological aspect to it. I didn't think. I know most you're worried about inhuman when it comes to little kid sounds.
Yeah, but that's it. Um, then there's Jacob, a Civil War soldier who's always looking for booze, where the barracks used to be. Why is the rum almost
Okay.
gone? Um,
Because you're always drinking it.
shh. Ruth, she's one of the kind of more vengeful, angry, and malevolent spirits there.
Mm-hmm.
Not because of anything. It's more of like she does it in a loop, so it's a weird kind of residual effect. But she is one of the poltergeists there that likes to throw things when she has her fits.
It's a loop, but a poltergeist.
It's kind of a mix. It's a weird. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, usually those two don't mix.
Yes. There have been physical contact where sensations like tingling, burning, and cold spots feeling, along with sensations of being choked and scratches.
So that's pretty par for the course for angry spirits.
Yes, yes. If you wanted to know more or are in the area or ever go to Trans-Allegheny and want to get into the museum or get into a paranormal investigation there, you can go to trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.com. I'll put that in the description below. Okay. But how about we take a little tour, shall we?
Definitely.
You see this nice, that's a nice kind of calming yellow room, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the museum setup rooms set up to what it originally was supposed to be like. You know, the privacy, the respect, the decency, and
Yeah.
that actually is a that figure in the chair is actually a I don't want to say is a mannequin. There we go. So it's a human-sized doll.
Yep.
People get freaked out whenever they go past it all the time whenever they do paranormal investigations as well because they see an actual figure.
No, I would too, especially if you're at night doing an investigation. You walk past and you just like, "There's a head."
Mm-hmm. And here we see some of the patients. It looks like they're doing recreational activities. This is one of the things that they set up at first to make it look like, things are going well. But you can clearly see in her deadpan face that she's like, just do this and get it over with already. You see, he's not really into it either. He just looks like he's posing. The only one who
I
looks
know.
interested is this gentleman in the middle.
As I say, the guy doing the needlepoint, he looks like he's enjoying himself.
The other one over here is
He
looking
looks
at the
like,
cat.
please, yeah,
I'm
please
like,
make it stop.
yeah, you can tell that there's more going on. That this was staged. Not that this didn't actually happen, but when whenever the oh advisors or not critics,
Orderlies.
orderlies, and the
Uh,
people investigators who come in to see if everything is going smoothly. This is kind of the setup, so that way they can get on with their day,
right.
just like this. They'd select a few, get them positioned and set up to make it look like everything is fine. And this very well could be what it was like in the beginning, where it was fine until it started becoming overcrowded. But still, they would do this to help, you know, misdirect, if that would be a good word to use, what's really going on. Because this is what really went on.
Have you ever seen the pictures of the chicken farms?
Yes,
That's what that reminds me of.
but these are patients,
People.
people with names,
Yeah.
symptoms, and they had to live like this. And there, as you can clearly see, every so often you can make out a staff member, and you see the gross comparison between the overage of patient to staff ratio. That's just it's
Yeah.
sad.
Of course, it makes it a dangerous situation on both sides.
Yes, because people
Because
start to become desperate.
well, then the staff are there in constant fear, and fear makes you do irrational things.
Yes, that too. Still, desperation. It all leads back
Yeah.
to that. Here is a lobotomy being performed. There wasn't masks, there wasn't gowns or anything. They just strapped them down. As you can see, there is
Uh,
a nurse holding the hands down of the person, and someone else holding the head
holding the
down.
head in place
Yep. With the doctor
and going
set.
up through the nose.
Yep. It's horrific.
At least it's not one where they're going through the tear duct.
That would have been horrible. But here is a. This is an actual tranquilizing chair with a dummy in it. Oh, I didn't mean to say dummy. Model mannequin. That's what they did. They hold you upright. They did things as
That looks like a torture device made for like an indie film.
nope. Um, this right here, as you can see, they did also did things like bloodletting,
Mm-hmm.
depicted by the picture. This is another sample of the tranquilizing chair that they also probably used for shock therapy.
Yeah, you get that shock therapy vibes from these chairs.
Mm-hmm. This one it left you more open to it. The other one, not so much. Here's where they did the hydroshock therapy.
Mm-hmm.
They would tie things down so you couldn't get up and out to keep you in. And they'd probably leave you there for hours. This is the room often associated with children's spirits. As you can see, it's in rough shape. There's foundation cracks, chipping paint. Um, this is the room often associated with Lily, where she likes to play. As you can see, many different balls and toys set up. So this may have.
Now,
Go ahead.
this table has been on. This room has been on a lot of TV shows.
Yes.
It's interesting to see it in the daylight.
That's why I want to do some of the pictures in daylight and some at night, so that way you can get the kind of the contrasting feel.
Like whenever you're seeing this through the night vision or the IR, everything being black and white,
Yes.
you don't realize the colors, those awful hospital colors.
They were considered warming and calming.
I know, but at the same time, it makes me think of toothpaste.
There was a patient named Dean who also is believed to haunt this hospital. He was murdered in a room on using the wrong side of a headboard or footboard, depending on where it actually happened. And that was in this room. This is considered the murder room.
This room right here.
Yes,
Was this the one where they picked up the bed and they slammed it on his head?
supposedly.
Okay. Wasn't he also known as a little bit of a snitch? Or
He wasn't all right upstairs.
yeah.
He was very childlike. Here is the morgue during daylight. So you can see a little
You
bit
know, the
better.
warm colors I kind of like. I think it's nice.
The brick makes me think of my grade school. But as you can see, it like a lot of asylums or institutions back then, they only had the two drawers. So whenever they had excessive bodies, They would have to store them somewhere.
Now, they were just storing mental diseases at this point, right? They weren't doing hospital work.
Not no. This was all mental. What bleed mental, or if a husband disagreed with his wife thing.
Okay, because I'm thinking back to the tuberculosis centers,
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but
and
no,
I was like, I understand them having a full wall. Two just seems so
they.
small.
But even that one, which is Waverly Hills, they still only had a drawer system. That's why they developed
Oh,
the
right, they did.
chute. Remember?
Yep, the death chute.
Here's how bad it is in some areas. The ceilings are already starting to decay and fall apart. Everything, the plaster's cracking and peeling off the walls. Doors are rusted or missing. But Mr. Jordan is trying very hard to get this place restored. There was one other person. Um, no, I take that back. That was the other place. But Mr. Jordan definitely is trying hard to basically breathe life back into it, but in a respectable way. You know, what do you think about this hallway?
It reminds me of the north, simply because you don't see that down here in the south as much anymore.
The
But
storm.
up there, the fact that snow will come into the ceiling, you won't even see it for months on end until everything's falling down,
Yeah. Here's
and then just sort of everything collapses.
here's where he's cleaned it up somewhat, but still doing repairs on. But got narrow hallways. This looks more prison-esque to me, but that's just
I
my
was gonna say that
opinion.
does not look like a hospital I'd want to go to.
But there are a lot of
Uh,
things. This could be like where the doctors and nurses would walk back and forth to, to the different rooms. This could have been a hallway specifically for them. We don't know. Of course, you have long open hallways like this that led to various patient rooms. And I'm
hmm
guessing a lot of people are going to wonder why there's arrows.
I'm hoping that's for the tours.
That is for the tours and investigations, so they know which direction to go towards to get to the stairs, so they can get out.
Yeah, because that building is huge.
Yes. And not every stairwell is good to go down or to use. Like this. This one is barely hanging on, and it's very disorienting to look at.
Oh, the person who made that's a madman.
But you see, even the stairwell's divided. So I'm thinking it is one way. If someone was going down or coming up, they were on one side versus where the other side was used for the other way, because it is divided all the way.
Yeah,
Here is a stairwell that is not safe. It is crumbling, and
yeah, and you gotta remember this is well before they stopped making things with asbestos.
not just that, but a lot of these are levitating stairways. They don't have a lot of support. They were like
So they're just
cemented and
anchored to the
stuck
wall.
pretty much. They're
Good to know.
because if you sorry to go back to this Orrington one, you notice here this is a landing that they're on right now. But if you look, all they have are these poles. These poles to go either up and down with,
hmm
That is the only real support outside of the walls, secured to the wall. So Trans-Allegheny had a beautiful, brilliant, and great idea for the beginning, but it fell apart quick. And unfortunately, a lot of people had to suffer because of it before anything was ever truly done. And this place has got a lot of paranormal activity in it. It it's not exactly the most haunted, but it's got the creepiest, some of the creepiest hauntings. It's even got
Yeah.
the one called the Crawler, which is
I,
what?
I say the crawler has appeared in a bunch of different places, but
Well,
they're
that's
always horrible to see.
yes. What the Crawler is a shadowy entity that will like crawl along the floor or go up along the wall on the ceiling when coming at you, if it
Maybe we
chooses to
should
do
do a
so.
deep dive of the crawler.
A deep dive of the Crawler? Maybe
Yeah.
we can look into that in the future. To do specific actual ghosts, an
Hmm.
episode on specific actual ghosts. It'll be like many different places, but we could do something like that. Um, but yes, this is our deep look into Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Okay.
You have.
Now,
Go ahead.
I say we've watched a lot of paranormal content because that's something
Mm-hmm.
we both enjoy.
Right?
Trans-Allegheny always strikes me as the place where everything is active
Mm-hmm.
and there's all these reports of hostile, but I never see the hostile.
Yeah, it's got a lot of negative energies to it where, like I said, it's got a lot of darkness to it. Um, but even I couldn't find any real notations on the thing, just people saying scratches, burning sensations, feeling like you're getting choked. And, and that's all I could honestly find on it. And I went to several sites for this.
Because if my memory is serving me correctly, not Ghost Adventures, the one that was located out of Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Paranormal Society.
Okay. The one that I was like, I know what one you're talking about.
Yeah, it was based in like Penn State.
Yes. But then we are on the same
Um,
page.
okay, they went there and they stated it was more like everything there was asking for help rather than anything else.
Yes.
They just were wanting assistance.
Yes.
Uh, and even whenever another one of our less known ones, the Achievement Hunter, or yeah,
Yes.
Achievement Hunter, when they went there, they got absolutely nothing until the one member of the cast decided to become vulnerable with everyone and talk with everyone on a true and honest level. And then everything picked up considerably. And it
Yes.
was more like they were reaching out to try and help him.
Yes. And I'll springboard off of that. Um, I think I have a good a good reasoning behind it, or an assumption, I would say. Um, every time someone goes there, you're not always gonna get activity. You might not always get it. Then you might. It all depends on your intention and if they're wanting to be seen or wanting to be acknowledged. And in this case, the negative spirits and stuff like that are the main ones getting the spotlight. But like you said, a lot of people are getting the help me. There are a number of people who are trapped there, not getting the correct amount of help or help at all. They were just dumped. And that could be the people being help me and crying
Yeah.
out or touching. And and in the case of that one person that you were mentioning from Achievement Hunter, um, the reason for that is they could have gotten in touch with it could have been a patient, but more than likely may have been an actual caring a staff member.
Yeah. Because this place has a lot of awful to it, and it's mostly was based around the overcrowding and people trying to get the help they needed. Whereas a lot of the other places we looked at, it's just had a history of very awful things happening.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, places store energy.
Yes.
And the energy here does not feel like the energy you'd find in some place that has a darkness to it. Did a lot of dark things happen here?
Yes,
Yes. But you don't hear the same caliber of things that you hear from other places.
that is correct. It is just honestly on that note, um, if you think about it, anytime you go anywhere, you put a part of your energy in that place because you were there. And in the process of not only having all those patients and the limited staff members, everyone going there to visit has left a piece of themselves in a way. So it's a collective energy. And with that collective energy, it's causing, more than likely causing the patients, even some of the distressed staff members, to like, hey, help. And they might get depressed because, and then cause people to feel depression because they're not helping or they don't know how to help, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to visit this place.
I would too. I honestly would.
It's actually a place I grew up hearing about.
You've talked to me about
Uh,
it when we first met for a little bit.
yeah, I have friends of the family whenever I was growing up. I was born in 1980, so this place was still open and active whenever I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
Two of good friends of the family had to go there at various times.
Oh,
My brother was threatened to be shipped there,
I did not know that.
and that was the kind of wake up call for him sort of moment. My brother has a variety of different issues that if he's on his meds, he's a nice person, but back then the medications weren't always easy to come by, and some of them didn't
Highly
exist that really
expensive.
truly helped him.
Yes.
And this was a place that was brought up more than once in my household. Uh,
Yeah.
so I honestly expected it to be a darker place.
No, there isn't really a lot of. The only darkness to it outside of as you said, the rumored, and as I've said, that we talked about like the crawl or the darker feelings of the place, is honestly just the mistreatment that was done there, the neglect.
And even then, you're not hearing stories of,
That and the not just sweeping deaths under the rug because it was too overcrowded as a way to take down the numbers. That part.
yeah. It's just there's not of negligence, but not a lot of maliciousness.
No.
And I was honestly expecting more stories of malicious, dire things. I mean,
Did we go
then
over?
maybe this might be perspective considering what we went over last week, two
Yeah,
weeks ago.
that
I
was.
was like, this place is not so bad.
Yeah, but still, it's got a sad, tragic past to it.
Yes, it does. It's a past that needs to be remembered.
Yeah, because taking away like monuments or taking buildings down or trying to erase it doesn't mean it didn't happen. It still happened. You're just making way for people to do it all over again by doing that.
Yeah,
That's why you should keep things where they are so that can be a constant reminder of what not to do in situations like this. And Mr. Jordan is attempting to do that. He's trying to preserve it so that way people can still, come and see it and experience it. Um, I know a couple other investigators have gone there. Overnights, I believe, gone there once,
hmm
and I know Sam and Colby went there once.
yeah. If you follow paranormal investigations of any sort, this is like one of the crown jewels to actually get to do.
Outside of Waverly
And
Hills.
yeah, though honestly, everyone who's come here, it's been a far more hopeful haunting. It's a weird thing to say that, but anytime you try and be nice with them, or you be respectful with them, so much more happens there.
And for those who tend to go there and rile things up, tend to not get hardly any activity.
Oh my gosh, it just made a connection. It's the staff. If you're playing nice and you're being good with everyone and you're being lively, you're helping raise the mood. They don't. You're fine then. You're good. Well, yeah, we'll interact with you. If you're there to cause trouble, we're just going to ignore you.
Also, you're thinking the staff suppress the patient entities?
They see them as a patient acting up. They're like, you just need to go away. I'm not dealing with you right now.
I guess I could see that. Well, it's definitely something maybe we could revisit in the future. Who knows? But for
I would
now,
love to go there for that kind of testing.
that would be nice. But for now, that is it for a deep look into the paranormal podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer, and my co-host is the wonderful David. And hopefully we will see you next time. Please let us know what you think in the comments below. Right?
Right. And if you have any ideas of different things you'd like us to investigate or do a deep dive on, please go ahead and share that information.
Yep. Just comment, reach out to us, what have you. I have all our contact information in the description. The only thing I don't think I have is the email, but the Discord invite's there, which, you can message through Discord. You can just comment, hey, can you reach out to me? And we can figure something out. We'll make it happen where we go over. Heck, if you're wanting to be in that episode and actually discuss with us, we'll pull you in. We are more, willing to talk with others, even if you just want to hang out and chat. But until next time, take care, everyone, and be good and be safe. Bye-bye.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.